Check, check, 1, 2. Is this thing on? Hey, what's up guys? It's another miserable RLCraft experience. Well, actually at this point I kind of rule this world. Like I'm just dominating. Like I don't want to be cocky or anything, but I literally rule this world and also I'm the best. So I'm just taking a victory lap at this point. All this prep, all this endless grinding has led to these last 100 days. I still have 3 bosses that I have to kill. Rohovart, Asmodeus, and Amagelich. But with a full set of Dragon Steel armor and some of the best baubles in the game, and a God Sword with Supreme Sharpness 5, you could say that I'm prepared. Also, only 4.5% of you are subscribed. That's kind of crazy. If you like this video, I will be doing more, so you should sub. You can unsub whenever you want, and it really helps me out. But that's enough of that, so let's get into it. Day 401. I'm back to exploring. I've done a lot of prep for these boss fights over the last 200 days behind the scenes, and now I'm procrastinating because I don't want to die. Not that I ever would, because that's sort of cringe, in my opinion, to do that, to die, you know, ever. But I do also just want to explore and see what's out there. Side note, I'm also still flying using an elytra, despite it being super dangerous. I hope that's not a thing later. Like it would suck to die because I had my elytra on, you know? But I'm so powerful at this point that would never happen. Speaking of powerful, you know that really powerful sword with Supreme Sharpness 5 I was gonna make? Yeah, I made it. Here it is. I lost the footage. I lost it. I have no idea where it went. But here's the new sword, and here's the damage it does on a dragon. It's kind of insane. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I wanted to test my damage out some more, so I went into my old friend the Doom-like dungeon on day 402. I just literally one-shot everything in existence, and it's not even close. Like, it's not even a contest. With the enchantment Arc/3, I one-shot large groups of enemies in one swing, and with the enchantment Swifter/5, my swing cooldown is non-existent. I one-shot a blight zombie. I think that makes me the most powerful thing in this mod pack, because if you've ever played RLCraft before, you know that blight zombies are quite literally the most terrifying thing in this mod pack. Like dragons, never heard of them. I see blight zombies when I close my eyes. Please send help. But of course, this is RLCraft, so an annoying event took place later that day and carried into day 403. Let me tell you, I can one-shot almost everything in existence, but I can't hit a bow shot to save my life, alright? Like they were flying around and they were super annoying. You gotta give me a break. You gotta understand. It's hard out here being a deity, guys. Like it really is. Like I don't feel like people understand my everyday struggle. So I did what any reasonable person would. I made up for my shortcomings with a genocide. I swept through an entire battle tower. One swing of my sword takes out large swarms of enemies. I'm kinda cracked. So, you know, I was flying in vibing day 404. You know, I see a little tower. I'll make a quick pit stop, you know, make some time for the little guys. This will be a good opportunity to see what my sword can do. He's gone. He's absolutely, he just never existed to begin with. Did he exist? I need a moment. I need a moment. Sorry about that. I kept zooming, I kept flying, I stopped for some structures here and there, but the only big thing that happened was I discovered every biome, which is pretty cool for RLCraft, because there's just so many that you can find everywhere. I'm still flying day 405 and 406. Call me Christopher Columbus, because I'm exploring new lands and also taking everything that they have as my own. But you know, I'm just having some fun, trying to see what's out there, filling up my shulker boxes with all their generosity. And also their money. While I'm on this journey for self-discovery, I'm also getting XP for future enchants. And my best source is mega battle towers, because just look at this. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing days 407 and 408. There's not much in these things that can pose a threat to me, or that's what I thought, until a zombie decided to do a bit of trolling. It's called we do a bit of trolling, you know, he baited me out of existence. I killed him, he dropped the backpack, I clicked the backpack by accident, my game immediately crashes because I have a chest piece on. he was just better. It's just, that's it. He was better. I need to regain my honor. Call me Zuko. So I cleared another tower in day 409. This one was right next to the first one, and there was a village that was just like right in between them. Sorta a bad place to live. The property value's gotta be super low, but I live in a hole underground, so who am I to judge? I cleared the tower by the end of day 410, and I settled down under the beautiful night sky, not a care in the world. I woke up to the sun shining and a bright blue sky day 411. I think I'm finally starting to get to a good point in this game, where I feel like I could just let my guard down and just live a little. Finally live my life. Livid. Cannot express the full magnitude of my anger. I flew back on Julian and I managed to get some of my stuff before I got chased.
This is my favorite part, right here.
I finally realized that I have a dragon in my back pocket. So I summoned one of my 3 tyrant dragons to distract the little shit while I got the rest of my stuff. As soon as I got all my armor on, this fucker was done, alright? The fact that I was killed by this pitiful little creature is infuriating. I lost my sword and 200 levels. But I gathered my stuff, I used my extra sword, and I had some levels that I had stored up, so I slapped Supreme Sharpness on it. So I was back from where I left off by the end of the day. I just needed to fly day 412. Just clear my head. If I wasn't an unkillable deity, then who am I? I stopped to save a village day 413, but it wasn't because he was slaughtering a group of innocent people. It's because he existed. And my hatred for dragons was now reignited due to recent events. I just sorta kept going till day 414, fueled on regret and the need to feel something. But I did get a nice little surprise day 415. I fly so fast that the chunks don't always load. And here, it let me see a dragon's lair. So I decided to do a bit of trolling. It's glad we do a bit of trolling, and I slaughtered him. It wasn't even a fight, I just sort of beat him up. No egg, but it did feel good for my fragile ego. Wow, would you look at that? I killed another dragon day 416. This one was just sort of minding his business. I'm still a bit mad, I guess. But you know, there's nothing like a good genocide to make you feel better. So I cleared out another mega battle tower to blow off some steam. And another one day 417 that lasted till day 418. Just, you know, blowing off some steam. But this cycle of anger was broken when I found another kingdom day 419. And these villagers, they were looking so killable, so fragile, and there were so many of them. And you know, no one could really stop me. I marked it for later and I stole the emeralds from the castle. But that's all that I did, for now. We'll see how I feel later. And for my sinful thoughts, I went to hell day 420. Yeah, 420, that's great. Any redditors? Any redditors in the video, watching the video? You know, this is for you. I'm sorry, I'm 5 years old. But good armor as always, and I was home by the end of the day. Now it's time for our makeover day 421. Woo! Yeah, I'll make this shabby hole into a less shabby, shiny hole for the upper class. Kinda like your mom. Day 422, I decided to pimp out Theo's prayer. I mean, you know, his you know, like it's a prison. But you know, now it's a shinier prison, so that's always nice. Now it's time to smoke some withers on day 423. But I'm sort of a god now, so why not take on 3 withers at once? This should go fine. I can handle this. Oh wow, that went so horribly. But you know, mama didn't raise no bitch, so we go again. Round 2, baby. Let's go. Honestly, other than lowering my neighborhood property value, that didn't go so bad. I'm gonna mark that down as a dub. Now that I have the nether stars, I'm in the mines day 424. Yep, nothing like a hard day's work in the mines to put a couple hairs on the old chest. Am I right, boys? Fellas? Hello? Guys? I collected all these materials for my project that I started day 425. This project had no real value other than being a tribute. A monumental tribute to the brothers lost in the accident in the last 200 days. Prince and the other one. Lost too soon. They were my children and I love them both equally with all my heart. And their monuments display that. I had the project finished up by the end of day 429. But I didn't even have a chance to marvel in the beautiful statues because day 430, as I was getting some nice camera angles of my children's graves, I was hit by possibly the most terrifying event in this mod pack. I was swarmed by sky creepers and red balloons that shot paralyzing energy balls. While this will be overwhelming to anyone else, I am at the peak of the food chain, alright? But Sylvia, being the needy child that he is, was trying to help. Probably to gain the affection of his distant father, but he just ended up getting in the way, and at one point I nearly had a heart attack because he got set on fire by some random arrows that I'd shot earlier. I was doing everything that I could. By the time I finally cleared everything out, he was at a third of his health. I gave him all the food that I had left, but my heart just can't take it anymore. I just can't. It just can't. I can't keep doing this. I can't. After the frankly traumatic events of the day before, and while having had some time to build and think, I started to come to terms with my mortality and the fact that I may not be an unkillable deity. I know, holding your gaffs, it was just as shocking to me too. And with this newfound revelation, I made a backup set of armor just in case of emergency, however unlikely it may be. It was just a set of Tide Guardian armor with prop 4. I chose Tide Guardian just in case I got killed in the ocean, like before, when the incident happened. Speaking of the serpent incident, it was time to name my sword on day 432, with some great suggestions in the comments, but I took all of them into consideration, almost all of them. Some of them were a bit too straightforward. And with this, Divine Serpent Slayer was born. Day 433, I spent most of the day messing around with a dagger that I fucked around and put Supreme Sharpness on. I wanted an easy way to get cooked food to heal Sylvia, cause he was still a bit weak. And you know, it was fun, but at the end of the day, it is a completely useless weapon and a waste of Supreme Sharpness books. But in even more disappointing news, I finally decided to check out one of these floating islands that you always see floating around everywhere. And just gotta say that there has never been a bigger disappointment. Other than you, Smile. Just a little dragon's nest day 434. Nothing special. It's sort of like an everyday thing for me at this point. You know, it's just casual. Just wake up, you know, kill a level 5 dragon. Just not a big deal once you get as big and powerful and strong as me. Yet another disappointment day 435. This game is really supposed to be an escape from disappointment of reality, but instead it only brings sadness. Anyways, I found this really cool structure that was floating in the air, but it got cut in half and completely ruined. Yeah, so that was a bit upsetting, but because it looked really cool, and I would have loved to like explore it and sort of see what it was about. But I did get a stack of coal blocks, so that healed a little bit of the pain. And yet another Dragon's Nest day 436. At this point, I'm just getting spoon fed them. Like the world's just spoon feeding me dragons, num num num. I'm a little baby boy just getting spoon. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I gotta stop. I can't. Literally just killed dragons on day 436 because I hate them now. Because of you all know why I hate them. I don't need to say why I hate them. Don't make me say it, please. I still have nightmares about the incident. All right, I get it happened. No, we don't need to talk about it. We all know that it happened. Let's just move on. You know what? No, let's not move on. Because you all know what makes me feel better when I'm self-conscious and I have a small little ego. And guess what I just happened to find on day 438? Another village utopia. And you know, I came and I saved it from a dragon and I explored it and I looted it and I was their savior and I was welcomed like a king. But they were just ants to me and I'm a god, and I'm still violent, and I'm still mad, and I want blood. So I took it. No one could stop me. They tried, but they couldn't do anything but hide and pray to their god. But I was their god now. The last two were personal. I granted them the privilege of looking me in the eyes as I killed them. And that was the end. Day 439, I simply took in all that I had done. I marked the site, and I left. And I went to hell to atone for my sins. But of course, what goes around comes around. In day 440, in this pit, I found the beast. The creature that lurked below. A monster that makes a level 5 dragon look like a little baby, like a little baby boy, like a little baby, little insignificant little thing that like you could like step on and like, you know, you'd like scrape off your shoe because it's like so insignificant, like a little baby bunny, insignificant little scrap, This beast was a fluorescent. Fuck it, alright, this thing should have been called the unkillable little shit. And I'm not using any weapon, alright? This is a supreme sharpness 5 sword, alright? It deals with any other mob within seconds. And this guy was just tanking swings, alright? It took me about 10 minutes of just constant swinging to kill this fucker. And I was even using summons, like it was just painful to watch. He died eventually, but like holy hell did he go down swinging. When this happened, I was infuriated, I was livid. Whoa! I was about to throw hands at my monitor. Call me Summit. Alright, so now listen. I know why this happened, so you can stop typing your comment right now. This was my first of many future run-ins with the Lycanite boss damage cap. So a damage cap in other games makes it so that a weapon can only do so much damage once it reaches a certain like threshold. But in Lycanite, when a weapon does a certain amount of damage, the game just makes the weapon useless. It literally makes the weapon do such insignificant damage that you want to use anything else. Meaning that my ultimate sword that I had crafted over many hours of gameplay is completely useless against Lycanite bosses. But I didn't know this at the time, so I was livid. Day 441, a random serpent dropped me 32 scales. I don't need them anymore, but that's the most scales I've ever seen a serpent drop. And I would have loved to have these when I first started this 100-day series, when I couldn't get any scales to save my life. I found another village utopia on day 442, but I resisted my urges. Now that I've gotten the taste of blood though, I do see how easy genocide is. I can't help but see these places of villagers as like weak little babies ripe for the slaughter. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube. I ended up just going home. Days 443 through 445, I finally sorted all of my chest full of enchantment books. And let me say, it just felt good to get that chore done. It was always a hassle having to look through all my chests to find the books that I wanted. But it was day 445 itself that was the big day when I finally decided to start gathering materials to fight the 3 main bosses of RLCraft. I needed soul stones to make summoning altars, and I needed to get those from killing bosses in those colorful underground dungeons. And I hate those colorful underground dungeons. And like the moron that I am known to be, I hadn't marked any of them on my atlas throughout these past days, so I have to go looking for them. Day 446, I caught a giant chicken. Look at him, he's so big and plump. Day 447, I was in my first dungeon. At the time, I didn't know what dungeons had the bosses that I needed. But after wasting my time in one, I realized that I needed one that was in another, so I went to another. And I flew around aimlessly until I found one. And it was in this dungeon, day 448, that I came across my second run-in with the Lycanite boss damage cap. Azrael was pretty much unkillable. And yes, I could have used my bow, but I didn't think of that until after the 30 minutes of mindless swinging that it took to kill him. This fight lasted well through day 449. And let me tell you, it was absolute hell. You get super thirsty in the nether, and I was out of water, and I got scared, and I dug a hole, and I used a waystone to get home, and I went through all the golden carrot juice that I had during the fight, and so I had to make more, and he kept healing, and so I had to use my Twilight Dragon, and I finally killed him. After so much pain, and tears, and effort. I got one of the stones that I needed, but I decided to keep exploring the nether because I hadn't done that yet. So I wandered all of day 450 until I found another Doom-like dungeon. It's like a regular Doom-like dungeon, except you're always thirsty and everything is on fire. So much fucking fire. But you know, the loot in these things is always pretty top tier, so it's sort of worth the threat of like dehydration constantly looming over me. Also, pretty poggers side note, I found another ring of fairies, which is super sick just in case anything happens. But of course nothing would, because dying is cringe. Same shit, different day, day 451, except it's not the same day and literally everything is different because this dungeon had 2 fucking withers just chilling, just vibing in it. I 3-shot these guys, but like when those boss bars first showed up, I was in absolute shock. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna front. I was literally like, this is it. Hey, and if you also fear the inevitable cold embrace of death, why don't you subscribe to the channel? You know, you've already made it this far in the video, hit the sub button. It'll really help me out and I really appreciate it. By day 452, I had enough of New Jersey and I had gotten enough stuff, so I just decided to head home. I made a waystone and I headed home to secure my loot. I had 2 of the 3 altars that I needed by day 453, but because I had spent so much time fucking around the nether, I depleted my supply of golden carrot juice significantly. And I needed more for the fights, so I don't take constant damage from dehydration. Speaking of which, can I get a dehydration check? I mean hydration check. Don't be fuck. Alright, so listen guys, I know that in the past videos I've put pro in the title, but I want you to disregard that for the next, let's say next 5 days, alright? Just give me 5 days of just being, well, you'll see. So I wasted till day 455 just looking for another dungeon because I didn't know that the dungeons that I need can be easily found in the end, alright? I looked online and there's just not enough information about these bosses there, and I haven't fought them in a minute, so just there goes those days right there. Also, so you know, like a few seconds ago I just said that you gotta spare me 5 days of being an idiot. Well, I'm gonna need to double that, alright? Especially because of day 456, because I just watch. No, you can't tell me that that's my fault. Like, I don't want to see a single comment about that, because like, what the fuck was that? Like, I know what it was, but like, come on, like, what? Come on, like, what? I spent day 457 recovering, and I pretty much got everything, but like, just honestly another trip to my pride. Like, maybe I do another genocide later to recover the ashes of whatever's left. I'm not gonna lie. These deaths have made me a bit nervous to fly with my elytra, and the touch of death has made me a pussy. And so out of fear, I rode mounts for days 458 through 459, while just wasting more time looking for more of these dumb, stupid dungeons. But, you know, once you go elytra, you never go, like, you know, you never, yeah. Yeah, so I immediately went back to the elytra day 460. Also, I found a cute little snake. He's so cute and adorable. He had rabies, so I had to put him down. Day 461, I was in another useless dungeon. Day 462, I found a dragon in said dungeon, and this guy tried to drown me? Like, what does this world come to when a dragon tries to drown you? But I took care of him, and despite that hate crime that had just taken place, I was home later that day. Day 463, I made the actual altars for the bosses that I did have, and day 464, I replenished my supply of golden carrot juice. I ended up having to go looking for some sugarcane, but it wasn't that hard, you know, just flying around looking for them, and I even made a little farm. Hey, so you know how I said to give me 10 days? I need 20. Please, you gotta understand. You gotta give me more time. Please, I have a family. And they are super disappointed that I spent day 465 just still looking for the dungeons when I could have just gone to the end and found it easily. Hey, but look on the bright side, I found this cool floating village. You know, it was nothing super special, but it had a cool style that I hadn't seen before. I spent most of day 466 exploring it, and it had some 6 secret parts in this thing. But fuck that, because look at this ancient, impenetrable dungeon that I found. This thing is sick, just look at it. But I literally couldn't break into it. Like, I tried everything, I just couldn't get into it. Like, I dug all around it, I checked for holes, but I couldn't find any way. But after a quick Google search, I found out that I need a key from a boss to get in. And after spending day 467 and half of day 468, I can confidently say, fuck that, I'm cheating, alright? So I pearl glitched in, and I was met with what I can only describe as demons from hell. I mean, look at these fucking spiders, alright? You can't tell me that that is natural and it didn't come from like my nightmares, alright? I mean, they hit like marshmallows, but like they look terrifying. I'm sure if I wasn't a literal deity, then this would be terrifying. But I made out like a bandit with a bunch of sick materials, and oh, this is mine now. So we're just gonna like glaze over day 469. I didn't want to get back in there anyways. It was day 470 that I finally found out that the dungeons that I need can be easily found in the end. Not through research, but through a Jugger YouTube video where he was in the end and I saw the type of dungeon that I needed. So I went to the end, I chose a direction, and I flew. It wasn't long before I found the dungeon, and it was also around this time that I found out about the Lycanite boss damage cap. And so I whipped out my bow and wiped these bosses off the face of the earth, and I finally got the last soulstone that I needed. Day 471 was the day before the big day. I got stuff together and I put everything into an ender chest. I made space to summon the bosses where it would break through the nether roof. I forgot the keys. I went home to get the keys. I took a power nap and I was ready to fight. Day 472 was the day. First was Rohovart. Let's get ready to rumble!
Just know you ain't safe, He wanna run on, I get a jump to cook you up on my plate, Hop right over you, ask if you remember me. Head on where they stay, maybe I can jog his memories. Terminator, keep that metal on me for the fun of it. Fun is born like dinosaurs, go and discover it. Jigsaw, you know that I got these bosses puzzling. Feel like it's hell, keep the guns, I be doubling. Second night, I was born to fight. You gonna be taking like athletes on sight. Feed your legs, take a bite. And the monster when I'm about to take guys. Now everybody got a problem. Super quick like a teacher, I can solve. Fell about my butter robin. Put a glick in, I'm so second night. I was born to fight. You gonna be taking like athletes on sight. Feed your legs, take a bite. And the monster when I'm about to take guys. Now everybody got a problem. Super quick like a teacher, I can solve. Fell about my butter robin. Put a glick in, I'm supplying coffins.
See, that wasn't even that bad, guys. It wasn't even that bad. But in all seriousness, it really wasn't that bad. And I was mentally recovered and I was ready to fight Asmodeus the next day. Round 2, fight!
May seem to me you think I'm crazy. Hop in the whip, hit against the beat. Don't ever think that you can play me. Williams in the good time of fight me, bitch. If you overrun, you can fight me, bitch. I heard you stop, yeah. But it's just a start. I'm walking down the street, I'm scorching down your lap.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. You see that damage I'm doing with my bow? That's not great. I mean, it's fine, but I could be doing so much more. And I didn't spend hours grinding for a god sword to just bow these bosses down. So I did a bit of research, alright? I did a bit of, you know, a bit of research, alright? And I went into the game files and I changed a number. I just changed one, just one little number, you know, just one little, and now my sword does insane damage, does accurate damage. Look at this damage. Look at that damage. You see that? So at the end of day 474, I had 2 bosses down and I'm feeling good, alright? But now it's time for the hardest boss in RLCraft, a Mogalich. Now this ugly bastard, okay, maybe that was a bit too far, but he's the worst, okay? Because he gives you that suck. Now you may be saying, why is getting that Gok 3000 spin cycle a bad thing? Even if it's from this ugly dude, you know? You gotta learn to appreciate what you have. But when this guy gives you that good Gok, it's a one-shot, okay? It does not matter what you have on, you are dead. So to counter that good suck, I made a grappling hook, and the fight went like this. Yay, I beat the game! Wrong. I still haven't gotten to use my OP sword yet, so here we go again, day 475. Off the rip, I got trolled in a wall because Rohovar likes to do a little bit of trolling. It's called to do a little bit of trolling. But after that, oh my god, we are speed running Rohovar. Call me Dream, cause I fucked with the game files and now I'm OP. Oh man, that last one, I used a diamond key and it just did not matter at all. I have no words. I could not be happier with how that turned out. After this, I really feel like I've conquered the mod pack, like truly no memes. And to celebrate this accomplishment, I wanted to do something massive, something worthy of my glory. So that's what I did. This was my magnum opus, the pinnacle of what could be done in this mod pack. I was at the peak. I was on top of the world. But this is RLCraft. This mod pack gives no mercy. And while I'm mid-construction, day 494, I am unkillable, fully geared, so I thought nothing could go wrong. I never would have thought. I never would have seen it coming. Cause who could have truly seen that coming? A stray arrow turning my guards on Sylvia was the last thing I could have predicted. Was the last thing anyone could have predicted. It just all happened so fast. But unfortunately, this was the reality. And with 6 days left, I made the decision to turn the building into a memorial, and I continued construction. Day 496, I tore down Prince and the other one's graves to put them in the tomb with Sylvia. And by day 500, it was done. I've been cocky for the last 300 days or so, and I've paid the price multiple times, but this one was different. I'm going to leave this RLCraft world as a symbol of a lesson learned. The tale of a man who conquered all and sacrificed everything. And on that note, thank you for watching this RLCraft video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, there will be more to come. If you liked it, subscribe and stay a while. This may be the end of one RLCraft journey, but this has just been the warm up for what's to come. I'll see you guys next time.